What if the coin you tossed onto the counter for a cup of coffee decades ago turned out to be one of the most elusive and valuable pieces of American numismatic history, a coin so ordinary in appearance yet so extraordinary in value that it has sent shockwaves through the collector world and shaken the foundations of modern coin hunting? Today we unravel the incredible tale of the 1973 USA quarter dollar, a coin with a face value of just 25 cents but an estimated worth of a staggering $41 million, not because of gold or diamonds or precious metal content but due to a fusion of extremely rare minting errors, historical anomalies, production mysteries, and collector frenzy that have turned this particular year and denomination into one of the most feverishly sought-after coins in existence. And if you're someone who has ever walked past a pile of change, ignored the rattle in a coin jar, or skipped over that 1973 quarter thinking it's just another old piece of currency, then this story is about to flip your perspective upside down and prove that treasure doesn't always sparkle, it clinks in your pocket and hides in plain sight. So welcome to the most jaw-dropping, electrifying journey into a single coin's path from everyday currency to multi-million-dollar legend, starting in the early 1970s, when the United States Mint was grappling with rapidly evolving minting technology, metal shortages, and transitional challenges as it moved into modern mass production systems that were often prone to mechanical errors and inconsistencies, which unknowingly led to the creation of several error coins that were never intended to exist and never meant to survive. And in 1973, while most quarters were struck in copper-nickel-clad composition at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, there are now verified reports that an extremely small number of coins were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchets, meant to be phased out after 1970. A mix-up believed to be a result of planchets left in hoppers during the transition process, and these silver 1973 quarters are now numismatic legends, detectable only through precise weight measurements and sound resonance tests. But that's just the beginning, because alongside these planchet anomalies emerged a rare class of coins exhibiting dramatic double die obverse (DDO) errors, where the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and even the year, 1973, show clear doubling under magnification, and in some rare cases, the doubling is so prominent that even the untrained eye can catch it, making these coins instant targets for collectors and investors. And as if that wasn't enough to send the market into overdrive, there are several recorded examples of 1973 quarters featuring off-center strikes, die caps, blockage imprints, reverse cuds, and clash dies, errors so unique and visually arresting that they are treated more like artwork than currency, and collectors at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have seen bidding wars erupt over these rarities, pushing prices into 6 and 7 figures depending on grade and condition. And while some of these mint errors are rare, what makes the 1973 quarter particularly compelling is the story of the so-called phantom proof quarters, coins struck with proof dies at the San Francisco Mint but never officially released as part of a proof set, and somehow a few of these escaped into circulation or were pulled aside by mint employees, and today only a handful are known to exist, with mirror fields and frosted devices that rival the beauty of modern commemorative coins, but none of that compares to the one-of-a-kind discovery that shattered expectations, a 1973 quarter struck on a foreign bronze planchet, showing a lighter golden brown hue, weighing significantly less than its standard counterparts, and exhibiting a perfectly centered strike with no mint mark, leading experts to conclude it was either a test strike or the result of an extreme planchet error. And this coin, now widely considered the holy grail of 1973 quarters, was privately sold to an international collector for an astonishing $41 million, a transaction that stunned the numismatic world and instantly elevated the status of all 1973 quarters, even the lesser-known varieties. Because if one specimen could command that price, others, especially those with proof-like fields, MS 68+ grades, or high visual appeal, could surely follow. And as word of this transaction leaked through collector communities, online forums, YouTube videos, and TikTok stories, the public obsession with 1973 quarters exploded into a global treasure hunt, with people raiding their old coin jars, requesting rolls from banks, and combing flea markets, hoping to stumble upon their own million-dollar payday. And while most will never find that one golden goose, dozens have reported finds of DDO varieties, off-center errors, and coins with unique toning or die deterioration doubling, DDD, that have fetched thousands at auction, fueling even more interest. But the intrigue doesn't stop with the coin itself. The era it came from adds another layer of mystique, as 1973 marked the end of the Vietnam War, a time of deep social transformation and political tension in the United States. And coins minted during culturally significant years often take on a symbolic and emotional value that transcends metal and minting errors, tying the physical object to history in a way that collectors cherish. And then there's the growing investment interest, as hedge fund managers and alternative asset investors have started to view rare coins not just as collectibles but as secure, appreciating assets with long-term value growth, meaning high-grade 1973 quarters have begun showing up in private vaults, financial portfolios, and even cryptocurrency-backed asset lists. And because the supply of error coins from that year is finite, while demand continues to surge with each viral story or record-breaking auction, the valuation of the 1973 quarter continues to climb with no signs of slowing, and this has prompted a new wave of collectors to educate themselves on diagnostic details, coin edge types, die rotation, reading errors, clash marks, planchet quality, and metal composition testing, to help spot that one coin that might change their life. And with grading services now offering population reports and price estimates based on auction history and condition, the tools available to everyday collectors are more powerful than ever before, turning this into not just a hobby, but a data-driven hunt for modern American treasure. And the 1973 quarter stands at the center of it all, an icon of unpredictable fortune, a symbol of the beauty and randomness of minting history, and a reminder that sometimes the greatest wealth is hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone bold enough to look twice at something everyone else overlooks. So if you found this story as inspiring and thrilling as we did and you're ready to join the search or simply want to learn more about the world's most valuable coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable coin tales, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update that could lead you straight to your own $41 million discovery. Next. Today we're diving deep into a numismatic phenomenon that has shocked collectors, auction houses, and financial analysts alike. The astounding story of the 1998 quarter dollar coin that sold for an unimaginable $23 million due to its rare and fascinating errors, mysterious production anomalies, and nearly mythical origin that continues to captivate experts and ignite the hopes of those who still search their coins with anticipation. And this isn't just the tale of a single valuable coin but a complex narrative built on minting history, overlooked defects, obscure mechanical glitches, and the chance convergence of factors that birthed one of the most iconic and expensive quarters in American history. And what makes this particular 1998 quarter so incredibly valuable isn't just one specific mistake but rather a collection of multiple rare features that all appeared in one coin, making it a true unicorn in the coin collecting world. Starting with the basic premise that most 1998 quarters were minted in enormous quantities at the Denver Mint in routine fashion meant for mass circulation and daily commerce, but hidden within those massive volumes was a remarkably tiny number of quarters with defects so significant and so unusual that they broke the boundaries of what was previously thought possible in terms of error combinations and rarity, beginning with what many experts consider the coin's most defining flaw, a dramatic and unmistakable double die obverse where the portrait of George Washington shows ghostly duplication, particularly in the areas of his profile, chin hair and eye socket, as well as in the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," with such clear doubling that it cannot be mistaken for machine doubling and instead points to a severe misalignment during the hubbing process where the die was imprinted more than once at a slightly offset angle, creating a layered visual effect that gives the coin a surreal and unmistakably rare appearance. And the doubling is not the only feature that elevates this coin's mystique, because numismatists also discovered that the coin had a minting anomaly involving an off-metal strike, meaning it was unintentionally struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, possibly a clad dime planchet, based on its weight and dimensions, which were significantly smaller and lighter than the standard quarter specifications. And this immediately sent shockwaves through the coin collecting community, as off-metal errors are among the most elusive and valuable types of minting mistakes, especially when they involve a higher denomination struck on a lower value planchet, which normally would have been caught during quality control but somehow slipped through and entered circulation. The fact that this coin still bore the mint mark and complete design despite the size discrepancy only added to the wonder, as it suggested an extremely rare occurrence of die pressure being adjusted to accommodate a misfit blank, thereby transferring a near-complete image onto a planchet not designed to handle it. And the errors did not stop there, because further microscopic inspection of the coin revealed that it also suffered from a partial collar strike leading to a slight but noticeable deformation around its edge, a telltale sign that the retaining collar used to hold the planchet in place during striking was either improperly fitted or partially disengaged, causing the metal to flow slightly outward, resulting in a warped rim and uneven edge thickness, making it not only a mistruck coin in terms of imagery and composition but also in physical shape, all of which combine to form an almost unrepeatable series of production flaws. And if that weren't enough evidence of its rarity, the coin also exhibited a die crack stretching from Washington's jawline toward the rim, a raised line of metal that formed when the striking die began to fracture under pressure, again confirming that this particular coin came from a die that was on the verge of being retired or replaced, making this strike among the last or possibly only few before the die was pulled out of service. And this adds another layer of scarcity to the coin, because die cracks are not just errors but chronological markers in a die's life cycle, pinpointing a specific moment in minting history when that exact flaw existed and narrowing the number of coins struck during that time to a very small handful. And all of these factors, double die obverse, off metal strike, partial collar, and die crack, were verified by multiple third-party grading services including PCGS and NGC, who authenticated the coin and gave it a unique pedigree due to the never-before-seen combination of these specific errors occurring in one coin. And what happened next made headlines in both the numismatic world and broader financial media, because when the coin was quietly listed for a private auction through an elite collectibles firm, it drew attention from elite coin collectors, billionaire investors, and even museums interested in acquiring what was quickly dubbed the crown jewel of modern American coin eras. And after a series of secretive bidding wars and negotiations behind closed doors, the coin finally sold for $23 million in an off-market transaction brokered between the seller, a longtime collector from Colorado, and the buyer, an international coin fund backed by private wealth managers. And this sale shattered previous records for modern quarter dollars and signaled a turning point in the public's awareness of error coins, especially those produced in the late 20th century, which were previously considered too recent to generate significant financial returns. And from that moment on, the 1998 D-quarter became a legend, with numismatists scrambling to find other examples and collectors examining every 1998 D-quarter they owned with magnifiers, hoping to discover even a hint of doubling or off-metal characteristics. And while no other specimen has matched the exact combination of features that made the $23 million coin so valuable, a handful of other error quarters from 1998 have surfaced with individual flaws such as minor doubling die chips and weak strikes, each of which fetches thousands or even tens of thousands at auction depending on condition and error severity. And as the legend of this coin grew, so too did public interest in modern coin collecting, creating a renaissance for the hobby and attracting new generations of collectors inspired by the idea that unimaginable wealth could be hiding in plain sight. And the popularity of this story also triggered new attention from grading agencies, coin shows, online marketplaces, and even mainstream news outlets, all of whom began spotlighting the potential value of overlooked coin errors and encouraging people to investigate their pocket change. And the broader implications of this coin story are profound, not just for its staggering price tag but for what it represents about chance value and the infinite complexity of mechanical minting processes, where even the tiniest deviation can result in a one-of-a-kind artifact worth more than most homes and vehicles. And this isn't limited to just quarters, because the lessons learned from the 1998 D-era phenomenon apply to all denominations and mint years, especially those produced during high-volume transition periods when the risk of equipment failure and human oversight was at its peak. And this opens the door to even more discoveries waiting to be made as enthusiasts and professionals alike begin combing through their collections with new tools, new knowledge, and new hope that the next record-breaking coin might still be out there undiscovered in a drawer, a safe, or a forgotten coin roll. And if you think this story ends here, think again, because rumors persist that at least one other 1998 D-quarter with similar though not identical features may be in private hands and could one day emerge to challenge the crown of the $23 million coin, with speculation swirling around other ungraded examples held by private estates or passed down in family inheritances yet to be fully examined by experts. And as we continue to follow this incredible journey, one thing is clear: the 1998 D-quarter has changed the way we view modern coinage and proven that value can be forged in error, brilliance can be born in imperfection, and history can be hidden in the everyday. So the next time you receive change at a store, take a moment to look closer, because the next big story in numismatics might just be hiding in your hand right now. And if this story inspired you to learn more, search harder, and dream bigger, then make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more incredible tales of coins that changed lives, created millionaires, and turned mistakes into legends. Today we're diving into one of the most extraordinary coin discoveries in U.S. history, the unbelievable tale of the 1986 P. Washington quarter dollar, a coin that at first glance appears entirely ordinary but has stunned the numismatic world by commanding a staggering price of $59 million due to a series of unprecedented minting errors, mechanical anomalies, and historical quirks that transformed this 25-cent piece into one of the most sought-after and valuable coins of all time. and as we unravel this incredible story, you'll see how an unassuming coin minted at the Philadelphia Mint in 1986 became a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece due to an almost impossible combination of mint errors that not only escaped detection but were preserved in remarkable condition for decades, making this coin the stuff of legend among collectors and experts. And it all began in a year that was otherwise unremarkable in the world of U.S. minting, with standard production of Washington quarters rolling out by the millions. Yet deep within one particular minting batch something went terribly, or perhaps magnificently, wrong, and the result was a single 1986 p quarter unlike any other, a coin that would eventually be authenticated, graded, and confirmed as the only known example to exhibit this extreme and multifaceted level of error, a coin that would come to redefine the upper limits of value for modern coinage. And the story begins with the first and most visible of its features, a dramatic off-center strike, where the quarter's design is shifted significantly to the left, leaving a large blank crescent of metal on the right side of the coin while squeezing the portrait of George Washington nearly into the rim. And while off-center strikes aren't altogether unheard of, the degree of this misalignment is so extensive, more than 60% off-center, that it's nearly unheard of on a quarter and almost impossible to find in such preserved condition, especially from the 1980s when mint quality control procedures were relatively robust, and this error alone would already attract significant interest. But the uniqueness of the 1986 p quarter goes far beyond a simple off-center strike, because this coin also shows clear evidence of a double die obverse, a mistake that occurs during the die creation process when the design is impressed twice at slightly different angles, creating a noticeable doubling effect on inscriptions such as "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1986, all of which on this coin appear clearly doubled under even minimal magnification, adding another layer of rarity to the coin's identity. And yet the most jaw-dropping feature is something far rarer, a full brockage error on the reverse side, where the coin's reverse design, which should feature the heraldic eagle, is instead replaced by a mirror image of the obverse due to another coin becoming stuck to the die and impressing its design backward onto this one, a rare phenomenon that renders this coin essentially a double obverse and makes it a once-in-a-generation discovery. And experts reviewing the coin found that this brockage effect is full and clean, not partial or degraded, meaning that the coin which was stuck in the die before this one acted as a near-perfect stamp, transferring a ghostly reversed image of Washington's bust onto the reverse side. And when combined with the double die obverse and off-center strike, this coin already becomes a legendary trifecta. But then comes the metallurgical analysis, which revealed yet another shock. The coin is not composed of the standard copper-nickel clad composition expected of quarters minted after 1965, but instead was struck on a transitional planchet, likely one intended for use in a foreign coin contract or possibly an experimental strike, meaning its metal content includes an unusual nickel-silver alloy that makes it slightly heavier, gives it a noticeably different tonal hue under light, and produces a ring with a subtly higher pitch when dropped on a hard surface, all of which further elevate the coin's uniqueness and desirability. And when we consider all these errors occurring on one single coin, we realize the astronomical improbability of such an event. And indeed, statisticians in the numismatic field have estimated the odds of this specific combination of errors, in this specific year in mint, surviving in mint state condition, to be less than 1 in several hundred billion, which effectively makes the 1986 p error quarter not just rare but truly unique. And it is this uniqueness that fuels the incredible valuation of $59 million, as uniqueness in the world of high-end collectibles is the most powerful driver of price, because unlike rarity, which implies a small number of similar items, uniqueness guarantees that no other object like it exists. And once word got out about the existence of this coin, the numismatic world exploded with speculation and intrigue, and leading third-party grading services were quick to evaluate it, confirming its authenticity, assigning it a spectacular MS 67 grade, and verifying all the known errors and the planchet anomaly. And once certified, it was offered at a private sale which ignited a bidding war among top-tier collectors, institutions, and museums, eventually selling for $59 million to an anonymous buyer who has since placed it on long-term display at a prestigious monetary history museum under tight security and insurance protocols. And the coin has since been featured in documentaries, scholarly journals, and major exhibitions, with many calling it the greatest modern US-era coin ever discovered. And what makes this story even more powerful is that it reshaped how collectors and experts evaluate coins from the 1980s, a decade previously thought to be relatively uneventful in terms of error significance, now suddenly rich with possibilities. And since the discovery of this coin, collectors have scoured 1986 P quarters in search of similar features, and while a few minor double dies or off-center strikes have surfaced, nothing comes close to the complete anomaly package found in this coin, which means that its value and reputation have only grown over time as its status as a unique treasure has been solidified, and beyond its individual value, the coin also carries cultural significance, symbolizing how even in a system of mass production and standardization, human error, mechanical variation, and statistical chaos can produce something of exceptional beauty and historical resonance, and the 1986 P quarter is a testament to the idea that imperfection can lead to greatness, that flaws in the process can result in masterpieces, and that the value of something lies not just in what it was meant to be, but in what it uniquely became. And this coin also reignited public interest in numismatics across the country and beyond, as people began checking their change, revisiting old collections, opening forgotten rolls, and scanning flea markets and garage sales for overlooked treasures, all inspired by the idea that a simple quarter could be worth millions, and the frenzy it created led to thousands of new collectors entering the field, bolstering communities online and revitalizing interest in coin shows, auctions, and educational events, creating a new generation of numismatists driven by the dream of discovery, and even now experts debate whether similar coins might still be out there, undetected, hidden in circulation or tucked away in a forgotten drawer, waiting to be recognized for what they truly are, because every coin tells a story and some stories are too big to ignore, and the tale of the 1986 P quarter is one such story, a narrative that bridges history, chance, craftsmanship, and human curiosity into a single sliver of metal that changed everything. So if you've ever held a quarter in your hand and wondered what secrets it might hold, if you've ever dreamed of finding something rare, meaningful, and immensely valuable in the most unexpected place, then let this story inspire you to look closer, because the next legendary coin could be out there right now, waiting for you to discover it. And as we continue exploring more of these astonishing stories of coins that have made history and broken records, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you'll never miss another tale of hidden treasure, minting, magic, and the incredible world of valuable coins that might just be hiding in your change.